Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Sheree Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of About Healing podcast. Of course, I just want to take a hot second before we get into this amazing topic we have in store today, just to let you know, if you haven't heard already, because maybe you're just joining the podcast for the first time, that we have an amazing event coming up next year. I am just planting seeds everywhere to kind of build the excitement and to also say this to please share with those you feel would be interested. We have the About Healing Retreat coming up in April of 2024. It is going to be an amazing time where we are getting together with like-minded or like-souled. Is that a word? Soul, like energy, like light. Too close. It's fine. But it is just going to be a place where it's going to be extremely high vibrating, a place of love, a place of non-judgment, of community. And it's going to be a place where we can go to recharge, all of us with those inner bright lights that are here to raise that consciousness of the world, to treat ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to recharge, and to make new friends, to feel engaged and ready to go out and do the work that we are here to do as we do every day. So, of course, stay tuned as we start providing more information, and to find any of that or where we're at right now, it is on my website, abouthealingmedium.com. There is a tab for the retreat separately that we will be posting all the updates as it comes available. And if you are loving the podcast, please continue sharing it. This is the way we get it out and we share with the world for anybody who is looking for this information. Anyone out there who just is looking for that community or looking to learn or know that they are not alone in their awakening processes or wanting to learn maybe the spiritual and the self-healing aspects of what we do here in this podcast. So please continue to share and know that we are grateful for every single one of you. Thank you, and sending each of you love. So enough of all the updates, even though it is amazing and fun. Let's get into our awesome topic, everybody. Because today we are getting into the nitty-gritty, the absolute wholeness. Well, maybe not the absolute wholeness, but we're getting into all the information about the root chakra today. So for anybody new, this is going to be a lot of information. Anyone who's new to chakras in general, there is a lot. We're going to be breaking it down. I am talking about all the angles, about healing, about blockages, about imbalances, of all things root chakra. For anyone out there who is really into this, this is a great way just to kind of either as a recap or collecting maybe some new information or old information, and you're filtering through your own, I guess, truths or wisdom or knowledge about it. So just keep that in mind. So let's start with the very basics, and then we're going to work our way into this. So I'm going to get in and break down the whole system. So we're going to start with first, the root chakra. Number one, this is actually located at the base of your spine. This is the first chakra of the 7 main chakras that line your spine all the way up to the crown, which is the top of the head. The root chakra, its color, it represents as red. This is a vibrant red. This is that beautiful, rich, bright red, which is amazing because I'm actually wearing red today. I did it on purpose. Copper in the background, who is going shy on us today, it just happened, very divinely led, that she is wearing red today into our meeting, because I can see her on little video here watching me quietly laughing, which is awesome. We got into this without really knowing. So let's talk about it. What is this root chakra? So in the previous episodes where I actually got to explain what chakras are, they are these energy centers, okay, within our body. Each one represents different parts of ourselves, of our energy. So the root chakra, it's about the root. It's about our foundation. It is the energy point of survival. This includes our basic instincts like food, shelter, water, basics. This is also about security and safety. This is our self-preservation, our energy, our ambition, physical courage, and it is the base of our self-expression and self-esteem. And I will keep talking about it as that base or that foundation, because that is what it is. The root chakra, it is the foundation of our 7 main chakras. It's the anchor. It is the bottom. It's right there. And think of it this way, because we're talking about it as a root. It is properly named. Just like a tree needs its roots to be strong and stable, we too need that as our foundation to thrive. So it's my fun little quote that I think I made up. I don't know. I downloaded or whatever it was, but just like a tree, as for me. Because we need to make sure that we are going in and we are spreading out so that we are stable, that so as the storms come or the winds or hurricanes or whatever it is that comes our way, that we may bend and we may shake and we may lose limbs, but we are still standing tall and we will regrow. And that is what the base of this root chakra is about. The development of this chakra actually begins in early childhood. In fact, it's at its peak of development from infancy to 7 years old, because this is where we learn who to trust and what safety is, knowing that we'll be taken care of. And so those who have been through extreme forms, especially childhood, we're talking about neglect, abuse, and those things, this is where that root chakra is very much affected, because it goes back to the childhood. Some other little key pieces, because I'm going to go further into this in just a second when we're talking about what it actually affects and the health of it and how do we get back out of it. But there's just a couple of other little fun information that we should talk about with it, because the root chakra and its mantra is I am. These are the I am statements. I will go further into that towards the end of this episode. Just know that it's its mantra. Its elements are, of course, the earth, the soil. These are the elements of the root chakra. In astrology, it is connected to Mars, which Aries, which is under Mars, and also Capricorn, which is under Saturn. And its direction is north. So any of you who are really getting involved into the chakra, or especially when we're talking about maybe some of the other and the elements, or even in some of the witch-based elements, these are some of those pieces that you would work with. So the root chakra, we have to talk about its body parts, that it's because each and every chakra is connected to a part of the body. So now we're talking about the physical parts of the body. And when there are issues, these are the parts that it could affect, and you're going to see ailments with. So it is physically, it's based from your lower extremities. Okay. Again, it's that root and that foundation, the foundation of your body. So we're talking about your feet, legs, or even coming up into parts of your genitals, your large intestine, and your bones. This is also when we're talking about like glands or organs or anything like that, it is also going to be affecting your adrenal glands. And these are the glands that produce hormones such as cortisol and sex hormones, which stabilizes your metabolism, your blood pressure, your immune system, and inflammation. And this is also the gland that produces that fight or flight. Okay, so that's a survival tactic. So the illnesses that would be associated with the root chakra, these are the illnesses that come out when there are imbalances or blocks, which we are getting into here in a second. And I will explain all of this in further detail. But I did want to list these beforehand. So the physical illnesses that are associated with the chakra would be things like, this is not a full detailed list, but this is a majority list. We're talking about pain and problems in the legs, feet, knees, and spine. So like sciatica and stuff like that too. Fibromyalgia, if I said that correctly, somewhere in there. We're talking about intestinal disorders, so bowel problems, constipation, hemorrhoids, things like that, and eating disorders. And then when we go on the mental and emotional side of the illnesses, this is also the base point of depression and low moods, the inability to provide life's necessities for ourselves, panic attacks, fear, overthinking, nightmares, and addictions. So with all that being said, let's really get into now. We're going to talk about the chakra health. I'm going to describe what it is and what it looks like when a person has a healthy root chakra. So if you're kind of wondering, and I'm saying a couple of pieces, especially when I'm talking about its illnesses or body parts, like, oh, well, sometimes I have issues there. Well, let's really break it up. And I'm going to so you know what it is like when a person is in a healthy state or a healthy root chakra state. And I'm also going to break it down into imbalances and blocks and what that looks like. So when someone has a healthy root chakra, we're in balance. It's flowing, it's moving, energy is moving in and out, and it's great. It's bright red, and we're moving clockwise, and we're moving at a beautiful speed. This person is somebody who is present and focused. They have a sense of belonging. They're able to care for themselves. They would be described as dependable and reliable. They are grounded and are even able to bring things back to earth in most situations. So this would be like the person you go to for advice, like, make sense of this for me, bring it all in. This person also engages well with others. They're living life to the fullest, and they have a deeper connection to nature and to people. And they've worked through their fears and their limiting beliefs. And that's a lot. And I think about that. I mean, when we talk about this, like, that seems like a really stable person, but that's what that chakra is about. We're talking about, again, it's not just that safety and security, but it's also stability, all of that. So this is that chakra, and that's what a healthy chakra looks like when you have a healthy chakra. So let's talk about these imbalances, because when we talk about an imbalance, it can also, there's two ways that can go. You can either have an underbalanced chakra, or you can have an overbalanced chakra. So let's talk about what that would look like. So an underbalanced chakra, these are people who are seeing the world or seeing people negatively, or they see it all as dangerous. It is a very negative outlook on the world and people. They are rooted or stuck in the past. They can't get out of that. We're just stuck in the past. They are scattered, not stable, depressed, unmotivated, lazy, passive, and they have a feeling of being disconnected from the body, so feeling maybe floaty or spacey, and have little to no boundaries. So on the other side of this, when someone has an overactive root chakra, okay, now we're going the other way. Now that's super overactive. This is more of that fiery side. So this is someone who is quick to anger, or possibly always angry. Okay. This is somebody who acts often out of jealousy, out of greed. They are dramatic. So everything is very dramatic for them. They focus on the material things, having financial issues. They are stuck in lack, always stuck in lack, and have very rigid boundaries. So that is when it's imbalanced. Usually, and let me be clear here, because we're about to go into a blocked chakra. An imbalanced chakra just means that we've leaned one way, and this is usually a short term, okay? Kind of like a short term thing. So I'll get more into it in a second. Let me get back into blocked chakras, and then I will differentiate it all for you. So a blocked chakra. This is something that has a very long-term imbalance. This is what creates a blocked chakra. So a blocked root chakra is someone who has lost the life force energy, that prana. There's just no willingness to do anything. We've lost the thrill of life, essentially. They're living in fear constantly or allowing fear to determine every single decision, which means they're always going to fall backwards. This is not being brave. We're just going to keep not doing anything because of fear. Or even we're being angry because of fear. And everything we do is a reaction of fear, which comes to that base security. This is, again, having those financial issues and hoarding. Hoarding is a part of it. That's hoarding possessions, food, money. They are resentful, envious, controlling, and having a resistance to change. And when we have a blocked chakra, when we're going to that long-term imbalance, this is where the bigger quote unquote, or the more of long-term illnesses will come into effect, or repeating ailments or illnesses of some of the items that we had listed earlier. So please understand here, if you're thinking about this and you're hearing these pieces of the imbalanced or a blocked chakra and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Or you're thinking of very particular people. I'm sure you're like, oh, that's this person. That's this person. Like, I know who has a block. Okay. Understand this, that it is very easy and it is not unusual. It is not unusual to become unbalanced at some points in your life. And usually it's for short periods. Because throughout our life, there are many times where we just go through experiences that trigger these pieces, okay? Where we feel threatened physically or mentally and emotionally. We're going to go through periods of these imbalances. That's okay. This is not something to like hide or be shameful because you might have an imbalance. Absolutely not. Every single one of us have gone through times where we have these imbalances. It is a part of our process of our evolvement. However, without proper processing, okay, or allowing yourself to feel, to deal, and then release these emotions of these triggers of the situations that are happening, that is what can cause the clogging effect, the imbalance to go one way or the other. The more you avoid the deep-rooted fears, the insecurities, and the basic needs of feeling safe and secure, it creates a harder, more what I call the calcified blockage or clog in the chakra. And it wreaks havoc. It wreaks havoc on your whole energy system because it is blocking energy from flowing through as it should. Because think of it like this. If your heart has a blockage, blood can't get through, and now we're going into really big issues, right? Even life-threatening issues when you get these blockages. It's like that. It's becoming calcified in our energy system. Not only is it creating that chaos and that havoc into our physical body, but it manifests out because of our mental and our emotional side, that it wreaks havoc on the world around us. Because now it's almost as if the energy has nowhere to go. And while you are backed up in all this fear and that anxiety and the loss of life and feeling negativity towards everything and everyone, well, now it's just overflowing onto people around you, which is causing more issues and more chaos because now people are reacting to it. And then you're losing relationships. And again, it's just a domino effect from there and your health. And it'll keep happening in your health because we're not allowing it to flow through. So now that we understand those pieces, let's talk about healing our root chakra, because all of it can be healed no matter where you're at or even how far you've gone and how big that block or that calcified piece is. It can be healed and it can be managed. But first and foremost, please understand that depending on the depth of the chakra blockage or the imbalance or the whatever it is, it will take time to heal it and bring it back to its fully functioning energy source. Sometimes it can take as long as it took to create it. And I say this because you have to have patience and you have to be kind to yourself as you're going through that process, because you're going to have to go through it in phases if it's a really big clog. You'll be working on the layers of the calcification. I can write it easily, but to say it out loud, it's just ridiculous, okay? Calcification. You'll be doing it one at a time until you get to the base of that clog. until you get there into that very root of that clog and you finally can remove that piece, because you can't get to that inner piece without essentially busting it open. And the only way to bust open these chakra clogs is actually processing and dealing with these pieces. Now, that sounds scary and it sounds really overwhelming to think back, especially what the chakra entails. We're talking about these childhood pieces. We're talking about security and safety and being stable and all of that. But to make the process easier, there are things that you can do where it's not so overwhelming. We can start working on healing the chakra, and essentially it just starts like it trims off the fat of kind of like all the big stuff, the things that we can kind of melt away. It's like, funny because I keep thinking of like turning on the hot water in your sink to try to like flush the big stuff down or as much as you can, or whatever you need to before you can have to turn on the garbage disposal, right? So we're going to try to wash as much as we can down. And these are some of those healing tools that you can use as you're working through this. So I have a really fun list of things that you can use in that process of healing your root chakra. So are you ready? Number one is wearing red. It is the color, and it's the part of having the intention. I'm going to wear these colors because I am bringing this color more into my body because I am healing this root chakra. That's why I wore red today. And apparently why Copper knew to wear red subconsciously. We're doing some healing today. I too am always constantly working on my base and my root chakra. Truly, I have imbalances there too. It's not perfect, but it is getting so much better and it's getting so much stronger and it's moving so much faster now. So wearing red in all forms, we're talking about jewelry, dyeing your hair red, which by the way, it's so much funner to be a redhead. Okay, shout out to redheads. We're talking about clothing and all the pieces. If you wear it with intention, it will completely absorb and work with your energy because intention is energy. Running red light. This is more of a meditative state of bringing that intention of running red light through your body and bringing it in. Stay tuned because I am going to provide a meditation to help with this too. More about that in a little bit. Also, you can visualize the color red. It is visualizing a spinning red wheel. Close your eyes sometimes, especially when you have a moment or you feel a trigger or you're really purposely working on it. It is, again, just trying to see that spinning red wheel, seeing it moving in a clockwise motion. It is healthy, it's spinning, and it's getting brighter, and it's getting more of that vibrant red. Keep picturing it. It works with your body too. It's showing your body what you want it to do. Beautiful. Going with. There's also crystals associated to the root chakra that will assist you. I definitely grabbed mine today. I've got a couple for myself that's in my pocket. One of these crystals, this is not a complete list. This is just a few of them, but you have red jasper. Red jasper is associated with the root chakra. Rubies, black tourmaline, bloodstone, and smoky quartz are just to name a few. I've got my red jasper and my smoky quartz in my hands right now. So I'm being grounded in the moment. So there are also exercises you can do. It's about moving your body and connecting with certain elements too. So walking outdoors, again, this is about being grounded and being stable and being rooted, right? So walking outdoors, being in nature, actually doing grounding and rooting and earthing, working with the soils, like gardening, things like this are very healing to this root chakra. And there's also yoga. Yoga in itself has many specific poses to open up the root chakra and to ground yourself. I am not an expert at this. You'll have to do your own research in yoga. You have aromatherapy. There are essential oils out there that are amazing that can actually help you just with your sense and your senses, bringing it into the root chakra. A couple of those are cedarwood, patchouli, black pepper, and vetiver. I don't even know if I said it right because I'm not familiar with that one. There are foods you can eat that also heal your body and connecting with your root chakra. And can you imagine? It is, first one, root vegetables. Getting into your root vegetables. Those are amazing. So now we're going to the root vegetables. We're talking about like carrots, beets, rhubarb, all those things that are coming out of the soil, right? spicy foods. And that's great for you guys who love your spicy foods. Actually, spicy foods are really good because it's fiery and it's the symbolism of spicy is red. And it's the digestion part. We're going to spice it up in there. Maybe causing, if you have that indigestion stuff, let's wait for those. But it is really good for you in the root chakra in that way anyway. And red foods. When I talk about red foods, I don't mean dyed foods, not artificially red, but anything red is really good for you. So now you're talking about fruits, we're talking cherries, strawberries, just naturally red food. And last but not least, because I'm sure there are more, but on my list today, and for healing tools, this is very important and it's amazing, are affirmations. I know maybe for some people, affirmations seem silly. They're just words. But let me tell you how powerful affirmations are, because sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. And that is a very true statement when we're talking about the energy and self-healing. It is kind of like resetting our thought basis. Yeah, we're going to have to lie to ourselves at first, because so often we take in all the things that we've heard through our lifetime, what other people say, and we take it in as our truth. This is a way of reprogramming. Affirmations are reprogramming to make new beliefs. And some of the affirmations for this root chakra, they're going to be I am statements. I am safe. This is one I use very often for myself. I am supported. I am worthy. I am connected to my body. I am centered and grounded. I am living in the now. I am present. Whew. I know there's a lot of information here and there's so much. Thing is that if you're feeling triggered about talking about this topic, this chakra, that probably means you might have some work to do in there, and that's okay. Just know that with all this information, as I said before, this is not even all of it. It is a collection of the research and the information that I have understood or read or have just discovered from the many resources, including my own journey and intuition. Every detail here may differ from other readings and or teachings, and there are no two that are exactly alike. But as with everything else that I teach or that I say, and with everything else that you are learning on your life's journey, only take what feels right for you and leave the rest. To me, is like another powerful message for our root chakra is to take only the information that makes you feel safe. Now, everybody, please stay tuned as I will be adding a bonus meditation and root chakra healing that is coming soon. And it will be a separate bonus episode. So as always, you amazing, beautiful souls, until next time, be kind to yourselves. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.